Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Escape Reality Star Wars Talk. It's a brand new episode, and it's a pre-recorded
Yep.
episode. Um,
I have work, so we're doing this ahead of time.
yeah.
You're welcome.
Thankfully, this week's book was short.
Yes.
We just had to talk about the High Republic race to Crashpoint Tower.
Yeah. Is
Next week, however, is going to be a big one.
Yes. So.
Well, I'm Caleb, by the way, and my co-host Seth.
Yep.
And we just talk about Star Wars and go through the different canon material as we see fit. Generally try to go in chronological order, but there's been a lot that's been coming out.
Sometimes we'll check out some of the newer stuff.
Yeah, and there's been a lot that's been new.
Yeah.
So let's go a little bit, speaking of new things coming up, let's talk a little bit about the news. So Star Wars Newsnet has received a report from, what was it, Embracer, the video game studio, made some big announcements Thursday about several big name acquisitions, including Aspire.
Yeah.
So the reason we're bringing this up is because a few weeks ago we talked about how the Knights of the Republic remake was rumored to be delayed indefinitely. So this is why. It turns out there was a big studio shakeup, which we did hear rumblings about, and I think we talked about it on the show. I can't remember if we did. But there were some studio shakeups, and it turns out that yes, Embracer acquired the parent company Saber Interactive, who owns Aspire, and basically decided that it was best for Aspire to not be the company working on Knights of the Republic remake, because they figured it's a AAA title. We're going to give it to somebody with a little more experience with AAA games. Aspire is generally known for their ports and remakes, ports and remasters, not their remakes. So they sent it off to Saber Interactive, who are best known for currently Evil Dead the video game, which just came out, and the World War Z game.
Yeah,
both of which are very promising sound to hear, because these games were both very well received. So that means that it's in good hands, as far as we can tell. Does that kind of boost your confidence for this game? I mean,
a little bit.
I mean, I was already under the impression that Aspire probably had it.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the new...
To put it mildly, I wasn't worried.
Yeah, the only thing that worried me was indefinitely. When you say something indefinite, that's a sign that
particularly in the gaming industry, where it's kind of like indefinitely may as well.
It may as well be it's dead.
Yeah,
that's what you might as well be saying. But there were also rumblings that Lucasfilm and Disney and Lucasfilm Games, the new arm that they made last year to be in charge of their video game stuff, they did not want this remake to die. So they were doing everything in their power to make sure that this game happens.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that we're still getting that. So that's good. Yes. That's the first bit of the news that we wanted to talk about. It sounds like let's see. Oh yeah, and some of the veteran BioWare talent is still working on it. So the original creators of the Knights of the Republic games are still... Some people are still part of this project. This isn't official news, though. This is all still speculation based on things that Embracer said, as well as what Disney... So none of this is confirmed.
This is fact.
Yeah, don't take this as confirmation of that this is what's going on. Take this as rumors and speculation based on information that we are hearing.
Yep.
So take it all with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
As always, you should take things with a grain of salt until a company says something with, like, this is officially what's going on. Until then, it should always just be speculative by nature. And as far as the speculative nature goes, this sounds good. It sounds like it all agrees with what we've been hearing. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is what's going on. But yeah. At the same time, I'm just going to reserve myself. I'm not going to be excited about this because, once again, no evidence.
Yep.
Just speculative. but I will still be excited if it turns out to be real. I'm just gonna hold that though and hold it down a bit
Mm-hmm. I know. I know you're.
because otherwise it can.
I know
I'd be hurt.
you're over the top, man. You need to just really lower it
Yeah,
down a little.
yeah. Um. So with that in mind, so it's almost we're past the halfway point for this year,
Yeah.
and for Star Wars comics, we're also past the halfway point for a lot of their story arcs.
Mm-hmm.
So Marvel went ahead and along with Games Radar made their November slate kind of clear.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get the first issue of the Yoda miniseries, the 10-issue miniseries, in November, which it will start during the High Republic days and move forward.
Yes, very small and green. This one is.
Yeah. And it's being written by I believe it's Charles that's doing the first arc.
Yeah, I think so. It just said so. Yeah. Oh.
No. This is Hidden Empire stuff. Yeah, which we're gonna get to. But I think Kevin Scott. Sorry,
Okay.
Kevin Scott, our other High Republic guy. Kevin Scott.
High Republic, Kevin Scott, Charles Soule, Justina Ireland. There's another one, I think. Or is it just those?
There's a few others.
There's a couple others, okay?
There's.
Can't remember them all.
Come on, at least one. She made us sad, but then not sad, but also sad.
I didn't narrow that down.
She specifically wrote the one where everything went bad. She also wrote Into the Dark.
I know you're trying to help me.
Yeah, I closed it so that way you wouldn't see it.
Fuck.
You want me to just say it?
Yeah.
Claudia Gray.
Damn you.
Yeah, Claudia
Not
Gray.
you, Claudia. You're.
Although she did make me almost think that she killed off. Stupid parachute. It kept him alive, so thank you, parachute. But
God damn.
But yeah, Kevin Scott's the one who does the mainline comic. He also did The Rising Storm, which we're gonna talk a little bit about today, along with the book we read. Cause
they're in good hands.
Yeah, and so meanwhile, Charles Soule, who mostly works on mainline comics, is working on Star Wars: The Hidden Empire, which will be the finale of the Kira story within the current set of comics. And the first issue of Hidden Empire will come out in November. So the first of the 5-issue miniseries that will mark the beginning of that arc. Let's see. According to here's a little bit of the info stuff that we got. Mysterious Syndicate, Crimson Dawn, and its leader, Lady Kira, have become the galaxy's most wanted criminals as Emperor Palpatine realizes the scope of Kira's plans against him and moves to destroy her. But Kira still has tricks up her sleeve, and with the help of the Knights of Ren and her many other allies, she will not go down without a fight.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't think things are going to work out for you, lady.
Speaking of Hidden Empire, what's going to happen afterward? Well, we're going to get a taste of that with a one-shot issue titled Star Wars Revelations, which will also be coming out in November. It will be written by Mark Guggenheim, who is the current author for the Han Solo and Chewbacca Star Wars comic. And that is here's a little bit of the info that we got on that. According to Marvel's press release, the can't-miss Star Wars issue of the year. After War of the Bounty Hunter came Crimson Reign. Now in the midst of Hidden Empire, Kira has shaken the galactic landscape to its core. But what lies beyond for the Rebellion? For the Empire? What role do the Bounty Hunters play? And what is happening to Dr. Aphra? Witness the next step in the legacy of heroes and scoundrels in the galaxy far, far away as Mark Guggenheim is joined by a ragtag team of artists to bring you an explosive tale you won't soon forget. The path to the future of Star Wars starts here. And apparently it's going to be Vader going back to the Eye of Webbish Bog on Mustafar to kind of get some visions. Also coming out in November is another issue #1.
Yeah.
One we've been waiting
yes,
for.
Yes.
Stars the High Republic, The Blade.
Mm,
We're gonna get the backstory of the
I
Blade.
would like to read this one.
Oh, yes. There you go.
All right. Hundreds of years before the Skywalker saga, witness the rise of a legend, the mighty Jedi Porter Engle, perhaps the most skilled lightsaber wielder in the High Republic. With his fellow Jedi Knight Barash, he travels the galaxy serving as guardian of peace and justice. But even Porter Engle has enemies he cannot defeat. Listen, we've seen him as an old man, and I don't think he's in his prime anymore. It'll be a very different thing to see Porter Engle when he's young.
Yeah, because
He's scary as an old man.
Yeah, because even past his prime, you do not want to fuck with the Blade.
Like, what the fuck did this man do?
Also, hold on. So, a little bit of speculative talk. Jedi Knight Barish? As in the Barish Vow?
Oh.
Or Barash, technically, I guess. Yeah. The Barash Vow?
Maybe?
Are we going to see the origins of the Barash Vow?
Yeah.
As well?
Maybe.
I'm kind of interested because that's going to lead into something we want to talk about later. So also by this point we'll be on our second issue of the mainline High Republic comic, which will be written by Cavan Scott. Charles Soule is also the one writing the Blade comic. Cavan Scott is working on the mainline as usual, and we'll be on issue 2, which will be a continuation of the Battle of Jeddah audio drama that we're getting, because the first arc is going to be taking place on Jeddah. Apparently, well, let's read the... Death strikes on Jeddah. A Jedi lies dead in an ancient shrine, another on the trail of the murderer. Who is using ancient force powers on the streets of the holy city, and why are sacred relics going missing? And why do all roads lead to the Temple of the Wills? Ooh, so we're getting the Wills. Which we knew the Wills are an important part of Jeddah because Rogue One. Because Chirrut and May, it's been a while since I've seen the film. His friend Baze, May. You've seen it more recently than me.
I remember Donnie Yen.
Yeah, Donnie Yen is Chirrut, and then his friend Baze Malbus. Okay, I was on the right track.
I remember Donnie Yen and Heavy Machine Gun.
You remember Ip Man and his sidekick?
Yes.
Ip Man and his sidekick, Shooty McShooter.
Yes.
But yeah, they were part of the Guardian of the Wills. So it makes sense that we're going to get to see some lore of the Temple of the Wills, since we're focusing on Jeddah. I'm excited about that. And then, speaking of stuff, here's going to be the Big Four ongoing with Hidden Empire starting. So we'll have the 28th issue of Bounty Hunters.
Bounty Hunters have a bad day again.
Yeah, from the cover of it, we just see everybody holding on to a part of the ship, trying not to fly out into space. And
man,
and there it is there's the thing in the thing that we're about to read in the distance. So Panic at the Accretion Disco. That's funny. The bounty hunters are locked in a desperate attempt to escape the pull of a black hole, which we see the black hole on the cover. To make matters worse, the Pikes are out to kill them first.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, what will Valence have to sacrifice to serve the Empire?
I remember him being fairly exploded last time.
Oh yeah, last time you saw him, he was but you also saw that he was
still alive.
He was alive because Vader was bringing him back.
Yeah.
They showed that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He's like 98%
well,
cybernetic.
Well, now he's more than that because, well, I don't want to say now because I don't think they show that at the end of War of the Bounty Hunter. We'll get to talk about it next week.
Okay.
There's stuff that you got to catch up on.
Yeah. Man.
We'll also get Darth Vader 29, which also has stuff that you're gonna need to catch up on from that we'll talk about next week because Techno reunion. 3 decades ago, Anakin Skywalker slaughtered Wat Tambor, leader of the Techno Union, along with the rest of the Separatist leaders by the command of the Emperor. So, who is the pirate Jewel Tambor? I'm gonna guess it's his son.
Probably.
What is he planning on Skako Minor? And what will the handmaiden, who now stands at Vader's side, do when it's her job to choose if Jewel lives or dies? Also, which handmaiden is this? And will this new adventure fulfill Sabe's dream of derailing Vader's journey to the dark side, or simply complete it?
Well, I guess we've
So I
answered that question with the previous question.
well, also I'm gonna guess that this isn't Sabe then, because Sabe has been with. I'm gonna give a little bit away of stuff that's not the current arc that we're gonna read next week, but the arc that's going on right now. Sabe's been working with Vader. But it sounds like there's another handmaiden who's alive and in the mix now. So that's interesting. We'll also get Dr. Aphra number 26.
I believe you explained to me that like Dr. Aphra is like the Indiana Jones of stuff.
But like evil Indiana, if Indiana Jones did not want to bring stuff to a museum.
Yeah.
Which also technically Indiana Jones is a bad person because he's stealing artifacts from cultures,
yeah,
but
he does steal them. Then again, when it's Nazis,
but it's not in the in Temple of Doom.
In Temple of Doom, he gives them their stuff back.
Yeah.
The other 2 times, it's Nazis and a crazy Russian lady.
So other 3 times.
Yeah. Even though no one wants to talk about the crazy Russian lady.
Well, that's not true. Apparently, since we're on topic of it, it turns out Quentin Tarantino had a hot take.
Oh yeah.
He said that Crystal Skull is better than Last Crusade.
I could see it.
I'm trying to figure out why it's his like why he would put. I'm curious why he would put that over Last Crusade. A lot of people like Last Crusade.
Because if you ignore it, nah.
Because Last Crusade's the one where we get Sean Connery as his dad.
Yeah.
Henry Jones.
Yeah.
Indiana was the dog.
You're named after the dog?
Well, no. That's his nickname that he took. His real name.
No, I know. You're named after the dog is...
Yeah. I know. It's the line. Henry. No. It's Junior. Because he's Henry. So it's Junior.
Junior.
That's my Sean Connery impressions for the episode. We still got to get
to 10 in Latin backwards.
We still got to get you into, speaking of Sean Connery, we got to get you into Highlander.
Oh yeah. You explained to me the plot of like
1 and 2 and 3.
I think, like half of 3.
Yeah.
I was like, there wasn't gonna be a problem in 2, and then you guys made a problem. All you had to do was let him fucking live to his old age and die.
All right, so let's talk about. Let's go back to our Star Wars. Yeah, let's talk about our Star Wars archaeologist, which still being written by Alyssa Wong, is who High Republic character Crash is an insert of.
Staros.
Yeah, Santa Staros. We've seen Santa.
I know.
Descendant. Friends and enemies.
I'm not forgiving her grandma.
Okay, but we can forgive Santa. She didn't do anything. Santa Staros and her allies have cornered the Spark Eternal. She's determined to bring Dr. Aphra back no matter what it takes. But will it be enough, or will it destroy Santa, Aphra, and everyone they love? Yeah, because currently, kind of a little bit of spoiler territory, Aphra is been taken over by a ancient entity because of her archaeology stuff.
Remember what I said. Remember what we talked about. Bring like a fucking Ziploc bag and some leather gloves.
It's not even her that activated it, though.
No?
No. We also are getting Star Wars number 29.
Yeah. Some people are going
written by Charles Soule. It looks like some people are going to a party.
Yeah.
Looks like a masquerade.
Going to one of those fancy parties.
Yeah, it looks like a masquerade because like Leia's got a mask on, Luke's got like the classic like Robin mask on,
Who you,
or Mask of Zorro sort of
Who
thing.
do you think you are?
White Zorro. Because Zorro's not white, so
Yeah. Spanish.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
In fact, he's fighting usually he's fighting the white man because usually like.
he just really wants revenge. Okay.
Well, also usually he's trying to fight for the people. He's like a Robin Hood sort usually. And then we got Lando and his nicest of coats walking with Leia, and then Chewie with a gun and Chewie with his bowcaster.
Chewie looks unhappy.
He's the only one that doesn't look like he's going to this party.
Yeah.
Rebel Alliance is in crisis. With their supply lines in jeopardy due to unfulfilled promises from Crimson Dawn, General Leia Organa knows that it is just a matter of time before the rebels run out of crucial supplies. Fortunately, Amlin Holdo has a solution. A hunt for a vast hoard of fuel thought lost for centuries. It's time for a treasure hunt.
Well, let's hope that works.
We're also getting, speaking of Mark Guggenheim from earlier, we're getting Han Solo and Chewbacca number 7 out of the 10 issues. Looks like we're getting a prison break issue. The return of Redacted. Outgunned and outnumbered, Chewie makes a daring escape from prison. Greedo is on the run, and you won't believe who is after him. Redacted is back, and boy, are they mad. I'm curious who Redacted is. I'm excited now.
Redacted is redacted.
And then last but not least, we're getting Mando number 5, which is going to adapt the Gunslinger episode of the show because the Mandalorian comic is just an adaptation of the show. Outside of Marvel, we're getting a Dark Horse comic as well, and it will be the first issue of the High Republic, The Nameless Terror.
I hope you remember what the Nameless does. It's not fun.
She cry.
Tree cry. That's what Jedi will be doing. They'll be doing a lot of crying.
Shri
A little bit of crying
cry.
here, a little bit of crying there.
Just you know, a little bit everywhere. But also this is 150 years earlier. So maybe this is going to be the origins of like some of the Nameless.
Yeah.
And like previous interactions with them.
Yeah, because that nursery rhyme has to come from somewhere.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get into it for this week.
Yeah.
Because we read The High Republic, Race to Crashpoint Tower. Well, you read, I listened.
Yep.
And we can tell that this book was short because, at least on my end, the audiobook was only 3 hours.
Yep. 124 pages. I got done with it in about a day.
Yeah, because you do the 100-page, so...
It's either
but
50 or 100 or...
And in this case, I guess you saw that you had like a little bit left, so you probably were like, I read 100, I might as well just finish it.
It was like, I have to go be ready.
So this takes place concurrently to The Rising Storm, which you forgot.
I forgot about that.
Because we talked about this before we recorded, and you were like, oh yeah, when this happened, I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, yeah, I told you that this takes place concurrently.
Yeah. It was... This is set on Valo.
Yeah. Where have I heard that before?
Where do I know Valo? Oh, fuck.
And then I'm guessing once they were like, oh yeah, and then the Nihil, and then the Dringir, and then the zoo.
I'm like, oh fuck. This is the Republic Fair again.
Just from Ram's perspective.
Yeah. Speaking of Ram's perspective.
So we start the book from Ram's perspective.
Yeah.
A brand new character if we were going in chronological order.
But we're not.
Well, even then he would have had some introduction before it now, but...
So, Ram...
is meditating
the way he likes to meditate, which is apparently to fix...
Yeah, he's a techie. He specifically, he's more of a gearhead. That's really where... He's a gearhead, I would say. Yeah. He likes his technology and his speeders.
And he's working on it with some bomb bracks.
Yeah. Which are the creation of DJO, which we love our DJO here, Daniel Jose Older.
Mm-hmm. And he's doing So V18.
Yeah, V18 is a droid that's with him who is very much like a lot of protocol droids in the Star Wars universe, very nitpicky, very much doting.
Yeah. And he's like, I must see the whole picture for the whole.
Also doesn't like the Bon
Yeah.
Brax.
He's like trying to fix it and concentrate and meditate on this. And eventually I'm like, oh, I know what this is. This is like you're doing your fucking homework, but one of your siblings or your parents is trying to talk to you about
Yeah, because
something.
the Bon Brax and V18 are both like being noisy.
Yeah, and he's just like,
hey, cut it out.
could you not? And he's like just trying super hard. And eventually he goes and he just gives up.
Yeah.
It's like,
but they add a propulsor unit to V18 during this. And they also get news that Volo's comm tower is glitching.
Yeah. They're like, well, I wonder what that's about. I guess we should go check.
Yeah, because this takes place on Volo, because that's where Ram is being trained. It's his home world, essentially. Because that's how he refers to it, anyways.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't remember where I was born, but this is where I've lived most of my life.
Yeah.
So it's his home.
Yep.
And so they head out to the Ferrodin Woods to go check out what's going on. Where they get shot at.
Yep. And Ram is not freaking out too much. But he's like, I didn't ever think I'd actually have to use this lightsaber. I thought maybe.
Yeah. Master, what's his master's name? Kumpar, yeah.
What's up?
I'm about to correct you because of the audiobook. It's bad because it sounds like it's Kumpar.
Kunpar?
Kumpar.
Kunpar.
Kumpar.
No. It sounds too close to something else.
But that's what it is!
Oh, yeah?
I would also prefer Kumpar. But it's Kumpar.
I'm over here like, no, man, it's spelled phonetically. It's a hard K at the front.
Kumpar. Makes him sound like a badass. Even though, like, we've seen Master Kumpar before. He's like an older Jedi. Like, that's not like... He's past his prime. Because we've seen him in the High Republic adventures. Meanwhile, though, Zine Morala is aboard the Jedi cruiser, the Starhopper, along with her friend Lula Talasola, who is comforting her as they are approaching Trimant 4, Zine's homeworld, where last time she was there, things did not go great. If you want a reminder of what happened there, go back to our High Republic Adventures episode with Shaylee. Yeah. And the rundown is she's from a cult that thinks that Jedi are bad and that the Force is bad. But the thing is, Zine can use the Force. And her childhood best friend basically hates her because she can use the Force. Crick's Camerat. But they're basically on their way back there because they've heard that there's some information that they can get there involving what the Nihil are up to, and so they're summoned to the bridge to talk to Master Cantum Sai, who is there with Vernestra Rowe. See the previous High Republic junior novel, Test of Courage, who is there to basically brief them, because Vernestra's been the one working on this. Meanwhile, Lula is kind of getting envious.
Yeah, she's like...
She's like, I want to be the best Jedi Knight, and Vern's the same age as me, or at least close.
Yeah.
But she's already a Jedi. She's already a Jedi Knight, and I'm still a Padawan.
How did this happen?
How can I be the best when the best is clearly standing in front of me?
Yeah.
Also, she immediately starts to deflect those emotions, and she's like, should I also be thinking these things? Because that makes me bad if I'm thinking these things. Which also messes up my being the best Jedi Knight thing that I want. She also notes how she's missing her friends Farzala and
I
Court.
wish my friends were here.
But they're busy dealing with the Drengir, as well as Master Yoda, who's disappeared to spy on the Nihil.
Yep.
Because this is during his time when he's aboard the Nihil ship in the High Republic Adventures comic. So Vernestra reports that the Nihil that attacked Tri-Man 4 appear to be connected with those that attacked her and Emery on Weevo. Once again, see Test of Courage episode that we did to get more of that. And then after she finishes her report, she ends the call because she was on call.
Like, anyhow, goodbye.
I've
given you exposition.
Yeah. And so then they, Starhopper leaves hyperspace to go check out Tri-Man 4, which is now a lush world instead of a red desert.
It's the opposite.
Oh, sorry.
It's the inverse.
Sorry. It's still a red desert, because that was what we saw last time, though.
Yeah, but now it's...
Even worse?
It's worse.
Okay. Because the last time we were there, it was already bad.
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah.
The difference is, last time it was burning. This time it's not burning and there's nothing left.
Yeah. Well, even before then, it was kind of already...
Yeah, it's also irradiated now.
Yeah.
And there's salt in the air.
But we'll deal more with that in a second. We're going to go back to Crashpoint Tower, where Ram is doing his best to not get shot at by a Togruta. Who also threw a mechanism at the tower, which exploded into smoke.
Yeah. So this is one of the things that I noticed. I'm like, oh, right. I forgot. This one is like for very young adults. So they never show any of our primary characters like deeply hurting the people.
Yeah.
But man, there are so many crashes and people just getting eaten or stomped out. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, this is our not even young adult novel. This is our junior novel.
Yeah.
This is for like 7 and up.
It's still a
This is our Y7.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Yeah, I feel like when people hear junior novel, they go, "Oh, that's for kiddies. I'm going to skip it." No, the junior novels still hold a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
And have some of the best characters. I do think this, while I like DJO, this might be the weaker of the 3 junior novels.
Yeah. And I also understand what, like, you explained to me how this one doesn't seem like a sequel so much.
Yeah, whereas the other ones, like the other books, it feels like each one is a sequel to the previous. Like the adult ones, obviously, 1, 2, 3. That's a sequential story, even if some of the characters, like POVs, change. We're still following most of the characters that we've seen in each of the adult novels. And then you haven't fully experienced all the young adult novels. We haven't done the second one yet. Yeah. But 1, 2, and 3 very similar. Although once again, I think 2 is the weakest of the 3. I would say in the case of the adult novels, 1, while being a great starter, is the weakest, because I do think each book gets better.
Yeah.
For the adult novels, whereas I don't feel the same with the junior and the young adult. But you have now experienced all 3 books of the adults and the junior novels. So at the end of this, I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously Ram's like, well, I've never had to use my lightsaber, like you said, saber before, but here I go.
Yep. And he does pretty well.
Yeah. And so, but his engine does get shot at on the V-18. And so,
no more flying.
Yeah, no more flying. So in fact, he's falling with style.
Yep.
But at this point, though, as he's crash landing, he sees some ships that are leaving the system.
Yeah, and he's like, wait a minute.
And that's when he puts 2 and 2 together, and he realizes the Nihil.
Oh, no.
We're on Valo.
Yep.
But once again, we're jumping back to Zine.
Yep.
So back on Trimant 4, specifically in Brawlanak City, Cantum, Zine, and Lula are on the planet, and they're trying to make contact with the previous Elder Tromac, because he had some information regarding the Nihil.
Yeah.
He's not there.
Might not be able to do that.
Yeah, he's not there right now. In fact, according to High Republic Adventures, he's probably dead at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
But they don't
He's
know
either
that.
Dead or captured by the Hutts.
No, captured by the Nihil.
Nope, Nihil.
So
The Hutts are involved in that story.
yeah,
But they're not.
they're not part of this.
They're not who has him.
No, yeah, the Nihil have him, and then eventually kill him because they don't need him anymore.
Yep.
Because Crix is like, I have the information you need. Because Crix is an asshole.
Yep. Little bastard.
So yeah. So instead, they find Elder Barbatash,
And
which he's actually pretty reasonable.
he's
Like, he is the most reasonable person in this entire cult.
Yeah. The thing is,
Everybody else is not.
everyone else is unreasonable, but apparently, like, Zine was
Because Zine,
internal monologue is like, yeah, we thought Elder Barbatash was like the fucking boogeyman.
yeah, because Zine is being basically there. Everybody there is hostile to them immediately because they're like, "Fuck you, Jedi," and "Fuck you, Zine, for joining them." And it was you guys that did nothing to save us. The Nihil saved us, and Barbatash is like, hold on, wait a minute, that's not true at all.
Exactly. In the more, well, I guess the rated M version of this would be like, shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about, get back inside, children.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, he's like, hold up, I wasn't here, and even I heard what actually went down. But yeah, Barbatash is more willing to he also thinks
like,
that Zine is he also agrees that Zine is not allowed back in ever.
You're
like
not
Zine,
one of us anymore. However,
I'm willing to help.
Going to help you because the Nihil are a problem.
Yeah, because he basically is worried that Tromac is basically already dead.
He's like, I'm pretty sure that he's not. He ain't coming back.
Yeah. And basically, he explains that there's a certain knowledge that the elders have, and that Tromac especially has, and it's basically the information of, like, if we're gonna get outside of this book, because they don't say it until like near the end.
Yeah.
They talk about that there's an ancient powerful weapon. I think they actually don't even say what it is in this book.
Say what it is.
But we know what it is. It's the nameless.
The Shri Cry Cry.
Yeah. Because we're told that in High Republic Adventures, and we're told that in... I forget what other book actually goes into it.
And at this point, assuming that you've been listening or watching, you know what it is, too.
Yeah.
And you also know what it
does.
does.
Now, of course, when this book came out, if you were reading this in order, the mystery's still there, and it's like, what is this? But I think it's also interesting reading this going back with that knowledge.
Yeah.
Like... Oh, they set the fact that of how much setup this
Yeah.
Another reason that this book shouldn't really be skipped because it has some information that because now it explains why because High Republic Adventures talks about it because they it's why Crix has that information because he figures out about the nameless.
Yeah. But
they never say it in the comic until like near the end that that's what the information is. And so. And apparently, you know, obviously, our buddy Markion had a piece of that information.
Yeah.
He just needed the other half.
Yeah, he needed the second. They used two-factor authentication.
Yeah.
For their fucking Jedi destroying weapon.
I mean, something as powerful as that needs it needs two-factor identification. Something as powerful as that should not be able to be unlocked by one person.
Yeah. I'm also remembering the fucking the one that like was heavily irradiated that could just shut off like blasters and lightsabers that they scrapped because it was too dangerous.
Yep.
That's still out there somewhere.
Yep. But yeah, so after consulting with Vernestra, Zine and the companions go back to on the Starhopper
Yep.
and start to make their way to Stigmarn system, because that's where they believe that they'll be able to find Tromac at a Nihil base there, because Crix gave that information to Elder Barbatesh.
Yes. Meanwhile,
Totally not a trap.
Meanwhile, on Valo.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back on Valo, Ram has managed to turn some of the tide a little bit, but also not really.
Yeah.
As he's attempting to radio in for help, he gets spotted by a security guard.
Yeah, like
because he makes his way to the zoo.
Yeah.
Which we talked about in Rising Storm.
So the opening ceremony for like the fair is happening, and he's like, "Okay,
I
can get up there, I can go and talk to my master once this is
Yeah,
done."
he's trying to get to Valo Temple, which is under construction.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he got caught.
He got caught by the most zealot security guard ever.
Yeah. And it's like, God damn it.
An Nemoidian security guard also, the book loves to mention, which is the race of the Trade Federation guys.
I love...
Do you love the dynamic between him and the security guard?
Dynamic. Although
this joke, honestly, DJO, I don't know if you're watching this. This bit, while great, you definitely stretched this bit out as much as you could. You milked this bit. You milked this bit a lot. And I mean a lot.
At the time, I wasn't as amused by it as I am now.
Like, as you're thinking about it, you're like, oh yeah, that was really funny.
At the time, I was like, this is fucking irritating.
Basically, you were
feeling like
Ram.
I am. Well, now looking back on it.
You know what? Compliments to you, DJO. That's a sign of a good author, where you feel like the character in the moment.
So
So they're so they are detained by Captain Idrik Snat and Officer Torgo Tan of the Valo Security Force, who believe they're intruders, despite how much Ram tries his best to explain. No, I am a Jedi Knight.
They're like, no, you're not.
This is Patrick.
And I refuse to. They're like, no, you're not. You're like
you're
from the poor side of town. No Jedi would dress like that.
Yeah, because he's all covered up in oil and grease and everything.
Jedis don't wear mechanic uniforms. What's wrong with you?
So, basically, Ram does his best to Jedi mind trick Captain Idrix after Torgo's gone off somewhere.
Yeah. It's weird.
So the first time doesn't work.
Yeah.
Immediately the guard's like, no, I'm not going to help you contact the... No.
Why would I do that?
But after a couple more attempts, it does work. But in the most stupid way possible. So basically, Ram enlists Idrix's help to contact Starlight Beacon.
If it was not Ram and this was not a children's book, I would have more to say about him doing this so frequently. Because you know my thoughts about, like...
But also, I don't think this is a...
This
is a proper usage of the mind trick.
Actually used.
Yeah, this is a proper usage of the mind trick. This is not a... I'm using this for my own ends or anything like that. This is to save people.
Yeah.
This is like, this is an emergency. You're not listening. So...
Fuck it.
Yeah.
This is one of the fuck it points.
Because it's like, you're not listening to reason. What else do you expect me to do?
Yeah.
Because they are being... like, Captain Idrix and Torgo are slightly unreasonable.
Yeah. I think, like, in general, most of the Valo...
But I think it's not because they're bad at their job. In fact, I think
they're very good at their job.
I think it's because
that's the problem.
I think it's also because it's been a frustrating day, You know, the Republic Fair is going on, so imagine how many other people they've
yeah.
had to arrest today. Like, just, we live in Mobile. So, think of, like, compare it to Mardi Gras.
Oh fuck, you're right.
Like, imagine how much the Mobile Police Department has to, like, arrest people on Mardi Gras. And put that times 10, because this is an entire planet security force. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I think they're just tired. They're like, honestly, you could be right, but we're just not going to chance it because
Yeah.
we've made so many arrests today at this point that we cannot chance that you're lying to us.
Yeah.
Especially when you have no identification on you.
Yep.
Um.
I think
Nah.
Ram after this is always like, I just have to keep my ID on me at all times
Yeah.
to avoid this happening again.
Or just always be hanging out with other Jedi.
Yeah.
But like, because we know they've arrested other people, because we meet some of the other people that have been arrested, such as Ty York.
Yeah. Let's. So
Because we're in that section, we can talk about this. Because so while he's under arrest, we meet Ty York, who is working with Mantisa. And so, yeah.
And so, a little bit before there.
Yeah. So let's let's talk about the mind trick.
Apparently, does not work.
It does and it doesn't.
Why? It works in that it does do the thing that he wants.
But it's being literal.
Yeah.
So like, whenever Ram says to say something as like about himself, he's like, Captain Idrix is like, I am Ram, and he's like, no, you're not Ram, I'm Ram. Like, it basically gets Idrix gets some words mixed up.
Yeah.
It's word soup.
This sentence structure is fucked.
The basic language, because we're in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
the
sorry.
basic language has been fucked.
Yeah. You can tell what he is trying to say. It's just a very weird phrasing of it.
Yeah. So, speaking of, while scouting the surface of Rant Tarnum for Nihil activity, Lula and Vernestra, who are now working together, because they've teamed up since meeting on Rant, they narrowly avoid some Nihil ships that have some hyperspace boosters on them.
Yep, and they're like, wait a minute. That's not how that...
Yeah, because now...
I think they see them make the jump in atmosphere.
Yes.
Which,
and they were and it's
fact,
the same ships that recently sabotaged Crashpoint Tower.
Yeah. Fun fact. That's usually a bad... You don't do that. And there's a reason why.
So, Starlight Beacon doesn't quite get Ram's message.
Yeah.
But Lula and Vernestra do.
Yeah, and they're like,
oh, we should probably check that out.
That was a weird message. Let's go see what's up with that.
Yeah, because, like, worst case, that security officer and Jedi need some help of some sort.
I am Ram, Joma Ram, and you're under arrest.
Yep. And so after they get the call, that's when Idrix snaps out of the Jedi mind trick and tries to arrest Ram again.
Yep.
Who flees.
Very far.
Lula and Vernestra find out that, okay, yes, the Nihil are indeed planning to attack the Republic Fair on Valo, and we should probably alert some other Jedi.
Yep.
Ram does get caught, and that's when he meets Ty York and Karanu Mantessa, which Ty is very much the Ty that we see in everything else, where Ty is like, I don't care what's going on with you guys.
Ty York's like, I just came here to do a fucking job.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do. And instead, I got jumped by like 3 guys.
And neither of them believe Ram when it comes to the Nihil. But Ty decides, you know what, we need to get out of here. So force powers on that droid over there. And that's when the Nihil launch their attack.
Yep. I believe I believe a quote from the book is like, after she's slammed the droid into the ceiling, and they're like, is that gonna help us get out of here? No, but it'll make me feel better. Like, I assume it's because of the situation, because Ty doesn't hate droids.
No, it's just a very frustrating situation.
Yeah.
So Lula confides in Vernestra about her anxieties,
Mm-hmm.
and is like, "Hey, I don't think I'm meant to be a Jedi because I always have these emotions of where I want to protect everybody that I care about."
Mm.
And Vern's like, "Yeah, and
Okay.
okay," and basically,
It's normal.
yeah,
Don't worry about it.
and basically she puts things into perspective. She says, "Look, if you had to save your friends, but you knew you would never see them again if you did, would you still save them?" And the answer was, "Well, duh."
Well, yeah.
Because that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, well, what about, say you had to save a Nihil? Would you do that? Well, yeah, it's the right thing to do.
Comac's like, nah, if you fucking find it, you kill him.
And so she says, well, see, then it's about the right thing, not about your connect,
Not about your achievement.
not about your attachments.
Yeah.
And in fact, caring for others is an important thing to being a Jedi.
Hmm.
As long as you don't let your care for people control what you do. As long as it's not attachments that are controlling you and you're willing to let people go, then you're on the right track. So then they try to contact Starlight Beacon while Lula tries to contact Starlight Beacon while Vernestra starts to make her way towards the Nihil Raiders.
Yep.
And takes out one of them. She is pursued by some Nihil fighters, but but some more Jedi vectors come in to aid her.
Yeah.
And she lands in a lake, near a lake. And she tells Lula that she plans to make sure Ram gets released, find some more Jedi, and make sure that Supreme Chancellor Lena is safe. Boom. Checklist.
There's an objective list.
Yeah, there's your checklist. Nihil are raiding the VSF State Detention Center, which is where our heroes are being kept.
Yep.
Which damages the 5 Triad, which frees Ty and basically frees everybody.
Ty does not give a damn. She
immediately does a mind trick on the Grand Nihil, Zarabarb, who we have seen before, I believe. Yeah, he was in the Rising Storm.
This is a very creative interpretation of the word subdue.
Yeah.
Blast them away.
And so Ram, Ty, and Mantessa escape their cells.
Yep.
Ram uses his force powers to hurl a thermal detonator out a window in order to stop people from being killed.
Yep.
He's like, nope.
He's like, well, I can't send it back there because the prisoners will die. And I can't send it back out because then the Nihil will die.
So out the window.
I guess this is the best place to throw it?
Yeah, he's got to put the bomb in a safe place. Sorry, Spider-Man PS1 joke. Ty and Ram also
just have to get rid of a bomb, man.
Ty and Ram also use their force powers to hurl back some Nihil, flinging them against furniture and computers and
like.
Which short circuits which Ram short circuits one of the bowcasters, saving Ty's life.
Yeah.
Ty returns the favor by taking out the Nihil warrior that attempts to shoot Ram. And they're basically soon joined by V-18
More
and
people
Lula.
should do that with blasters if they have force powers.
Yeah.
Just flick the safety on.
Yeah. Which then V-18 and Lula show up. Lula orders Ty to drop the blaster. And Lula's like, hey, what are you doing with these prisoners? And Ram's like, oh, they're good.
Don't worry about it.
They're helping me.
It's fine. They're helping.
And so Lula's like, I don't trust her, but okay.
Fine, I guess. I have other things to worry about.
So Lula explains to Ram what's going on with Vernestra. And they're like, all right, so we need to get to Crashpoint Tower, get the comms array back up again.
Yep.
That's their objective.
Yep.
So new objective.
Objective updated.
Yeah. So Ram, Lula, Breeback, and Tip start to make their way to Crashpoint Tower on V-18, while Ty and Mantessa have to go back to the main novel. They got to go back to do the adult book.
I was discussing with you earlier. Wait, So this means she did this, this, and this, and then went back to go and do this. Because she shows back up in this book again.
Yeah, because and in the adult novel, she disappears twice as
Yeah.
well. So it's like adult novel, events here, adult novel, events here, and then adult novel, because she
Yeah.
ends the book with the adult novel. And then disappears again, and then we
Yep. And then we
don't know what happens to her
Yeah.
after that. Because she doesn't follow them when they go to attack the Nihil base later on.
Tell you
Which this book ends way before that.
Tell you everyone's kind of like, "Are you a Jedi?" And Tayor goes, "No."
And so they on their way to Crashpoint Tower, they get caught up on trying to help subdue the zoo animals being set loose, because the Nihil and the Drengir did that.
We should be nice and show them at least one of the animals.
Yeah.
You know the one.
The Mudhorn?
No, not the Mudhorn, the other one.
The Ragscythe? The Ragscythe?
The Ragscythe.
Okay. I was about to say, people know what a Mudhorn looks like because it appears in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Because the Mudhorn is the thing Baby Yoda puts to sleep. Yeah. Here, let me put her in.
You are for our audience.
Yeah, I'll edit a picture in.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's a Ragscythe. That's the first thing they have to deal with.
Yep.
Meanwhile, they notice that Lena So's transport was wrecked,
Mm-hmm.
and so they decide to reach the comm towers after dealing with that. And Ram proposes that they travel by rooftop.
Yep.
Since V18's engines aren't gonna make them there.
Yeah, and they're like, "All right, we're just gonna the bomber X will fix it up."
Yeah, and so
Since they should be safe.
while
Ish.
while dealing with that, they let's see. Lula loses her footing.
Yep.
And she manages to grab onto a gargoyle, which falls and breaks.
Yeah. They decide to they're like, "Fuck it, I guess we're gonna Assassin's Creed our way."
Yeah. But before they can get even further, the Nihils attack them with an asteroid hopper. Fortunately, Ty comes back to save the day with a Sandval.
Yeah.
Which I guess you want to have that pop up as well.
Let them know what a Sandval is.
Sandval. Big dragon, essentially.
Yep.
It's a badass.
Once again, the wildlife. Deadliest fucking thing here.
We need more Sandvals. We need more Sandvals in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so, they while riding the Sandval to make their way to Crashpoint Tower, they discover that the Drengir are working with the Nihil.
Oh.
They want the meats.
They want the meats.
Drengir need to go to Arby's.
Yeah, they would fucking love Arby's, wouldn't they?
I mean, it's not good meats, but it's the meats because Arby's has the meats. It's not good meats, but
Imagining a Drengir pulling up into like an Arby's driveway.
Arby's, we have the meats. Drengir, we want the meats. You know what? Lucasfilm, Arby's, there's your team up. Arby's, get that marketing machine rolling.
That's kind of assuming that ever actually does happen through some divine miracle. That's gonna be the weirdest commercial ever.
I mean, if McDonald's will bring back their Szechuan sauce for Rick and Morty.
It's true. They did do that.
Didn't even bring it back for the live action Mulan.
Nope.
Which would have been the most optimal time to bring it back. But let's see. Oh yeah. So they witness the VSF troopers advancing towards the tower when they get eaten.
Whoops.
So
everyone tries to like shoot or stab the Nihil, and I'm like, did no one in Star Wars ever think of like Like, I know flamethrowers are a thing, and these are. It's my thing of like, did anyone just consider burning the damn things?
I think they do in this book.
I think they do.
Yeah, that does happen.
Eventually.
And then Ram's like, never mind, we're not going to do that because we've made a truce with the Dringir.
It's like, good.
So basically the plan is Zine and Ram are going to go into the tower while Lula and Yorick will hold off the Nihil.
Yep.
And so they do that.
Hey. They kill so many of them. Now, of course, because these are like car crashes, essentially.
Yeah.
It's more like they're slashing out the tires and such to give a real world comparison.
Only it's like no, it's really more like crashing an airplane.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like taking out their engine and then making them crash.
Yeah. It's like
while riding a dragon.
It's like so about that life and light stuff that you guys didn't hear about. Ooh.
So Zine and Ram fight through some Dringir to make their way there. Lula jumps off the Sandval to make her way onto a Nihil pocket cruiser to take out some Nihil, while Yorick manages to fly away to pursue a bigger ship.
Yep.
So then, after fighting their way through, we learn about the meats, and that the Nihil lied, claiming that Valo is not that Valo would not have any meats for them to devour since the Nihil would not have any meats for them to devour since the Nihil had killed them.
Yeah, they're like, what?
Yeah, basically it's like, oh yeah, there won't be any meats for you left because the Nihil are going to kill everybody.
Those bastards lied to us.
And so, while Lula was ready to burn them,
yeah,
Ram's like, nah, we got this.
Nah. Here.
Ram and Zine managed to make a deal.
They're like, listen,
and
Nihil got plenty of meat.
Yeah.
And they lied to you. So
when V-18 and the Brombacks arrive, Ram convinces V-18 to give him his transmission vortex.
Yeah.
So that way he can, because on it is a recording of the evidence of that, as well as some stuff that they can send to the Jedi.
Yeah, and he's like, but I won't be able to talk. And he's like, we'll get you a new one.
And V-18's like, fine. Also, at this point, he's friends with the Brombacks.
Yeah.
Because of, like, his wiring getting all fucked up throughout this book. He's also a little bit more sassy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I want to see a sad droid.
So using V-18's voice transmission vortex, Ram is able to repair the Crashpoint Tower's communications, allowing the Jedi and VSF to contact each other. Lula rejoins her Jedi comrades in the battle to save Lenosa City from the Nihil, while watching the Jedi Vector Star fighters pursue Nihil fighters. Ram contacts Lula and Zine, telling them that he wants to join them in traveling the galaxy and helping the Republic, a.k.a. I'm going to be in the High Republic Adventures comics now.
Yep.
And then they welcome him. And that's the end. Literally, that's where it ends.
Yep. That's it.
Like, we don't even see them finish saving the day. That's it.
Yep, that's it.
It was literally just get communication back to Crashpoint Tower at the end.
Yep. Oh, boy.
Also, at some point, they did have to switch dragons. They got the mama dragon because baby dragon died, or ran off or something.
Baby dragon was done.
Yeah. So, because I remember them going mama dragon.
Yep.
So yeah,
they upgraded dragons.
Yeah. So that was Race to Crashpoint Tower. Like I said, personally, I think it's a good book still.
It's a good book.
It's out of the trilogy of the junior novels, it's the weakest.
Yeah.
It's
the weakest.
But the weakest doesn't mean bad.
It's still good.
Yeah. Because weakest doesn't mean bad. It just means that if I were to read these, like this is the one that I'm not the most excited to reread. It's a good book, but I'm not like, yeah, I got to reread Race to Crashpoint Tower. Honestly, I don't feel the same with Test of Courage. Test of Courage is a good book, better than Race to Crashpoint Tower, but I am not racing to read Test of Courage again. Honestly, the third book is the strongest.
Ice skaters.
Yeah, the ice skaters.
I'm still confused.
Ice skaters, ice skaters. Uh, so so you said that you kind of feel the same.
Yeah, I can see that. I'll give it, if we're gonna do our like 10 thing, I'll give it a solid like 7.5.
I'm somewhere around there, 7.5, around there.
I'm trying to remember like overall what the lowest thing I think the lowest I've ever given is like a 3 or a 4.
And I can't remember what for. I'm gonna have
So
to.
you're pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to rewatch our episodes and make a list for the season finale,
Yeah.
so that way I can be like, this is what you hated the most, and this is what you liked the most.
With the exception of the pilot, because that doesn't. Does that count? Because that one's also like got like a top 10 thing in it.
Yeah, it does. So
Okay.
everything's gonna.
Bottom of the list, the fucking twins.
Twins is not bad. What the fuck?
I don't dislike. You know why I dislike it.
Yeah, you just weren't a fan of the over the top anime-ish nature of it, but it is an anime.
Yeah, I know.
That's the point.
I've seen their other work in like Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill is a good show, but it's also over the top.
That's the point.
And I'm like,
But yeah, I'm kind of with you there.
yeah.
So next week we are gonna have a biggin. We got 3 guests
Yes.
because we got Darth
That is
Chaco,
true.
we got J Comics, and we got Discount Bo-Katan all joining us, and we're all gonna talk about Crimson Reign,
Yeah.
which means that's gonna be a live episode,
Mhm.
unlike today.
I'm sorry about my
It's work. It's fine.
lack of enthusiasm. It's work. 11 o'clock. I don't even know what time it is right now. I think it's like 7.
Let's not talk about it.
It's 8, isn't it?
Let's not talk about it.
I have my phone. I'll just.
But we're gonna end the episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and end the episode. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you for YouTube if you really like our content. It's youtube.com/Escape Reality Films. This will not be on Twitch because we're not live.
No, we're not. However, shout out to the Mopcast Network for letting us use their studio
Yep.
space.
youtube.com/Mopcast Network. You can also find them on any podcasting app. Where they've got the Cult Movie Cantina, where
Yeah.
coming up soon we're going to be talking about Clerks 2. That's the next main movie episode. And also eventually Clerks 3. And then what else is that? We got the Andor show coming up. So they're going to have a podcast for that. And I usually help I help produce for their shows, so I'm also on those shows. And then we also want to thank Gamers and Geeks, our local gaming shop. They are the ones who actually own the space that Mopcast rents the space from, who then let us use it. So it's Gamers and Geeks, Mopcast, us.
Yep.
We're the freeloaders.
Yeah. We're the cousin that can't kick out yet.
We've got squatters' rights. But yeah, I want to thank them. So if you're in the Mobile, Alabama area, come check them out. They got your gaming needs. And Engage Gaming.
Yep,
Engage Gaming is in the same building. They have the rental type thing where you pay you can either pay a membership fee or you pay a little bit extra, and you can play consoles that they have, so PS5, Xbox, PC, VR, and they also provide the game. So if you don't have a machine and you want to play the latest whatever, that's a way to do it. And so,
I think that's everything.
yeah, that's everything. Also, our
Shout out to
Patreon. Let's talk about our Patreon, which we should have some new art today when this episode's out, hopefully. From our artist Colton Holcomb, hopefully. We'll find out, because since this is pre-recorded, I don't know if he's going to send me anything. But it's for my comic book that we're working on, which is based on my novel Superworlds. And then shout out to our patron, your mom.
Yep.
Jennifer.
Usually that's used in sarcasm, but no, we're being genuine
Yeah.
here.
Your mom, Jennifer.
Hey,
Thank
don't
you.
forget the Miss. That's Miss Jennifer to you.
Miss Jennifer. Miss Jennifer. I'm an adult. I'm older than you. I can say the first names of
My mom's
other
older
adults.
than all of us.
But I can say first names of other adults. I'm an adult now. If I was a kid, then the Miss still.
No, the Miss always applies to people who are older
It's
than
because we're in the South, ain't it?
you. No, it's just how I was raised.
It's because we're in the South.
No one in the South says
It's a-
Miss, it's ma'am.
But it is a Sith. It is a South thing.
It's a Sith thing.
Yes, only a Sith deals in absolutes, and that is an absolute. Also, what I said is an absolute.
It's just ended.
Let's end it here.
Yeah.
I have spoken.
Y'all have a good time. We'll see you next one.